been a bit, huh, Mav? I have to clean this room. I am not happy. I'm looking, shockingly, I'm looking for monorail motors, which I know I have a few. And at this exact second, besides the ones that are, and I'll talk about that in a minute, that are being used right now, I can't find any of my spares. I honestly, honest to goodness, I know I own 10 or 11, possibly 12. I never really counted. But, okay, so right now, at the Brick Shack in Grimsby, Ontario, Jamie called me up a while back and said, Dave, would you like to display your layout at the store? And I said, hey, dude, count me in. Anything as long as more than 3 days, I'm your guy. So, years and years ago, when my very good and dear and wonderful friend Janie had her show, her store up in St. Jacobs, and then she didn't own it, but she basically ran it. Shh, don't tell me. She called us up and said, "Hey, do you want to display for a half a year?" Well, I don't think she said half a year, but do you want to just set it up and leave it there? What's going on? Oh, there it goes. And I said, there. And I said, absolutely. And so the layout, not as it is today, but as it was back then, was set up for a good 6 months at the store until I took it down to take it over to Brickfet. It was displayed there a few times for extended periods of time, and I loved every one of them. Like, as long as I don't have to worry about it, and I don't like worrying about stuff. So I was happy to leave it with Janie's store, and I trust Jamie as well. I'm gonna go look at it tomorrow, by the way. Brick Shack, Grimsby, right on Main Street, right downtown. I can't remember the address off the top of my head, but if you are in the area, I'm gonna be there after coffee in the morning or the early afternoon. And one of the trains wasn't working. One of the monorails wasn't working when I set it up the other day. And that bothered me because this is the first time it didn't work. So I don't know if the motor's busted or whatever else. But I was down here looking for a spare motor, and I can't find one. Because my room is a complete and utter disaster. Because I haven't been in here for a couple weeks, months, whatever. I keep on throwing stuff in here. Over there is just a demo zone, and over here it's not much. But I kind of left it after all the videos I did of all this wonderful stuff. And I put no effort into this room at all. We've had a very busy summer. We've been camping and work trips and blah blah blah. So I have not spent any time down here at all. Even when I went to set up the layout at Jamie's store, I didn't have to come down here because, of course, the entire layout's in boxes in the garage, so I don't have to carry them up the stairs. So, yeah. So it's going to be there at least this week, possibly next week. I'm going to ask Jamie if I can leave it there because I'm going camping, not this upcoming week, because today's Saturday and tomorrow's Sunday when I'm going to go to the store. And they're not open Mondays and Tuesdays. The Brick Shack is not open Mondays and Tuesdays, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's open. And then we're going camping that week after. So about 9 days from now, we're going camping. So I will not have a chance to go see it. So either I take it down the Friday before we go camping, so like next Friday, or leave it for a week after. So it'll be there for 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks. I don't want to impose on Jamie at all. He's such a great guy. And I'm very, very happy that he thought of me. So before me, one of our good builders, and I actually don't even know who they are, but they had a Harry Potter castle, a relatively really big Harry Potter castle. I don't know if that's the same Harry Potter castle that was at Bricks in the Six last year, but it was really nice to look at. I was very impressed with that. And then Jamie thought it would be nice if I displayed mine there. And overall, 3 out of the 4 monorails are working. Yeah, and the train's working-ish. The one corner's still causing me problems. but the fourth monorail was not working well. So I'm going to go there tomorrow, and I wanted to bring a spare monorail motor just to swap it out to see if that's going to fix it. And yet here I am in this exceedingly messy and disorganized room, and I can't find one. So, but I thought, while I was down here looking for a monorail motor, oh, maybe it's in here, because this has some of my monorail trays in it. Let me just move this out of the way. I might bring this guy too. This guy is one of my favorite builds. It's not even a me build, it's a actual build from one of the Lego brochures. And I got somehow in here a light and sound brick. See, this is why I gotta get organized. And look, see, this is a modified bogey with the pickups on it, because that was probably more I was probably put in here. This train is now defunct. I'm gonna take it apart. It was never one of my favorites. Kind of looked like just a 1960s camper vans being pulled. So, although I thought, let me get down here. I thought when I built it, when you look, oh, there's a bogey sitting here. Those things are expensive, by the way. When I built it, what I was impressed with, and this is why I was trying to do anything with monorail motors. So the motor's built into the train. No modified parts at all. 0 modified parts. So you can take the motor, put it on a swivel on the top, and then oh, it's backwards. Let me just flip it around. You can build it better. This one seemed to, it ran for 4 or 5 years in the layout, but so, and then you can connect the cars behind you. No modified parts at all, and the motor's built into the train. And of course, this thing swivels, and that thing swivels, and this thing just connects to the monorail motor. Okay, that's a modification. But you don't have to do that. You can just put a battery box in the next car. I need to shave. And just connect it to here, right there. And this is why this piece is here. So you can put the power connector there, and it goes to the battery box and the train back. 0 modified parts, and you can build this as big as you want. Just brick built. So I was experimenting heavily with various ways of building monorail motors into trains that weren't going to use the 4x20 monorail train bogie, the monorail train base plate. And I like this one as a concept. It just honestly looked like, if I can build one really quick here, let me put one together really, really quick here. This is my problem. And of course, just using these ball and socket connectors, especially if you're going up and down hills. If you're not going up and down hills, the ramps, then you can just use the vertical swivel joint. But this is what it looked like, the train cars. It looks like a 1960s camper trailer. So, kind of boxy, kind of square with a rounded roof. Brown space guy. So this is why I have to organize all my stuff. Here's the guy that sits inside the train. And it's one of my original blue minifig. You can see the slightly faded logo. Well, this is what I've been meaning to get at too, because my very good and dear friend, Mr. Jeff, sent me some colored Technic bricks that match this. And I could probably now put together most of this. I don't know what color this is. They call it yellow or bleached orange. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's one of the few. And again, see the orange 854 not built because they don't have 1x16s in Technic brick, and I did the rest of it. I got a couple 1x4s and 1x2s, I think. But this color I wanted to complete, and yet they've never released a 1x8 or even 1x4s. But I can hide the 1x4s by just using 1x2s, right? But the 1x8s that come back here. Anyway, in the past, with other colors, they didn't have 1x8 Technic bricks, so I'd use a 1x6 and a 1x2, just because it was easier. But now all of them, I verified all my current colors have 1x8 bricks in them, so that's fantastic. But this color does not come with 1x8s, or I believe 1x4s. So let's see if I have it in here. Blank flag. More monorail pickups. This is my secondary monorail pickup. And again, that's a bit of a modification because, like, you know, you drill holes through the bogie, but then again, you take the wire out and the bogie looks fine and works exactly as it did. So that's not a permanent, except for the holes. That's not a permanent fix or a permanent change. And then you have the original bogies here that have no holes in them at all. I want more 4D bricks right here. Let's see what else I got here. This is the way I have to get organized. I mean, this should go in the bin of doom. It's 10x10. It's in the bin of doom. I don't know how I got in there. This I got in a lot recently. I do like getting these in lots, although I have a million of them now. I don't need to get any anymore. So this is where I have to start. So I'm gonna go to the store tomorrow, the Brick Shack in Bisbee, Ontario. I'm gonna go there tomorrow. I'm gonna bring. Really? Really? Where'd I put it? Oh, for the love of everything. I'm gonna bring that monorail motor that I have to find again. There it is. One monorail motor, and now it's got the 2x2 turntable on it. And then I'm gonna bring these guys. We bought that cute little alien set that has all these little guys in it. I'm gonna put two of them out in the layout. The two I like the best. I was thinking about this one, but it was like this guy. I liked him except for the feet and the candelabras on the side of his head. This guy looks like some sort of king of the aliens, kind of like, you know, whatever. And this guy just doesn't look appealing to me at all. So I'm gonna bring this one, and I'm gonna bring this one. He's so cute. And then I'm gonna bring these two guys, and I'm gonna hide them in the layout. And I think they came from another different set. I think Dreams or I can't remember. It doesn't matter. And then of course, I substituted, and this is what I mean. I love the Lego company, and I just had them over here somewhere. Yeah, right here. I took the small train wheels off, and I put proper tires on this thing because I don't want train wheels in my layout for vehicles. I want standard. So that's what I did there. These are not going. I am going to bring this. I am bringing this, and I'm going to see if it works on the layout. It's not pretty right now, but it doesn't have to be pretty. I'm just going to put it there in the layout. I'm going to connect the RCX, and I'm going to just like put my hand through this light stream here to stop, start, stop, start. So I'm going to bring that RCX and that little thing to see how it looks in the layout, to see if I like this idea. But again, I want more audience participation, interaction with the layout, and I want to do that. So, but I also want to clean up this room. I'm going to put that into a baggie. I'm going to put these probably back into a baggie and put them in the storage, because they do, they're one of my favorite sets ever, but they do take up a lot of room in here. And I got a lot of stuff over here that I want to put away. Some of the stuff I have to put back in the right boxes, because this thing I took out a long time ago for I don't know what reason, but it should be in the box with the 854s, because not only do I display the multicolors of 854s, I also display the various builds of the 854, and this is one of them that's on the box. There was no instructions for this, and when I was 10, when I got the 854, it took me a while to figure out how to build this so it was accurate to the picture on the box. They call it what we used to call back of the box builds, but this was not the back of the box. This, I think there's a picture in the back of the box too, but this was when you lift the inside cover. There's another picture of this thing, and it took me a while to work out the engine and the mufflers and blah blah blah. I don't know why I took it out of the box now. I honestly have no idea. What else? I'm going to start putting most of this stuff away. I mean, I do like having old sets on display here for people. And this 4 by 6, 8, or 6, 12, 14 plate with the getting ever expanding in the bottom here, and it has these things. I had one when I was a kid. I couldn't remember, but the 4 by 8 with the hook on it, or the pin on it was not in the lot, so I just substituted the helicopter piece, the 2 by 3. So for now, that's good enough. So I'm gonna put that away. I'm gonna put a lot of the stuff that's out here away, including possibly I love this set. not as much as 854, but I remember buying this in the store years and years ago, and I got it out of the lot just this year. So this is one from the lot from this year, and the pieces are just glorious, absolutely glorious. This was one of my favorite lots that I got this year at the 8844. And even these guys, like no teeth broken. I just absolutely love this set. It has so many memories. It's not even close to the top 50 best Technic sets they ever put out. Like, not even close. But for me, the nostalgia and the quote unquote simplicity yet complicated, like this whole A-frame in here where the propeller and all the gears come together, they did a good job on that. Anyway, but I don't need it on display out here. So I'm even talking about probably putting this thing into a baggie and putting it away, because it was not a set for me. And it was first gen, but of course I substituted the newer pistons because the original pistons were all busted. So I'm going to clean all that up. And the one that I'm really kind of thinking about, do I even want to keep it? Although it is an absolutely fantastic set. But do I really want to keep it? No, because it does take up a lot of room in here, and I'm not an expert builder guy. Is this guy? Because again, I got this in a lot, either at the beginning of this year or last year, and I put them together, and it is a wonderful set. I did want this set when I was a kid, when I saw it in the brochures. Now, this I got into a lot. A guy got in a lot this year or last year, and I think I did a review on it and blah blah blah. I know I could build this whole set again, at least twice, because the doors, the 5590, I have those doors in my layout because I got them in used lots over the years. So if I sell this, I wouldn't miss it if I wanted to build it again. This one's in mint condition, except a little dusty now. But I'm having a tough time deciding what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. I really am. So that's a story for another time. But right now it's up there and on display in my room. But I do have to get down here and just clean off this table, clean off the stuff down here. I got a bunch of, and I didn't put them in the layout, which is shocking because I didn't have time. Garage doors, trans yellow. I have to find a spot for that now because I don't have any spots for it. And I still have this guy sitting here that I mentioned before. I just got the other month, and I have to do something with all this stuff. I have to do something with literally all this stuff. And that's what's bothering me right now. It is honestly bothering me that my room is disheveled and I have to clean it up. And this is all the minifig stuff, right? I didn't bother with the minifigs in here. And I got the box, and you know me, I'm not a box guy. So if anybody wants this box, let me know. It'll just be the box. And the box is not perfect, not close to perfect. It has some damage here with tape on it. The inside is, I don't want to wreck it anymore. That's masking tape. So it has the inner thing here. You won't get the instructions. I'm going to give the instructions to my friend Jeff to sell. But you'll get the box if you want the box. And the box is not, as I say, mint. It's got this little rip here from this thing coming off. And I'm not even going to try to remove the masking tape. I'm always afraid to remove masking tape for fear of pulling up the paper. Oh, this one's not coming off too bad. Okay, almost. Damn it. It's the last bit. Anyway, a little piece of masking tape there. Rip there. A little tiny piece of masking tape. Other than that, all four sides there, blah, blah, blah. So if somebody wants the box, let me know. I'll probably keep it for bricks in the 6 then. If nobody gets to me, I'm just going to see who I don't put on Marketplace or something, because I don't care about boxes. What else is there to talk about? I mean, I got so many things to talk about because I've had a very busy last couple. I don't know when I uploaded the last video 3 or 4 weeks ago. My life has been exceedingly busy, and I'm looking around the room and I'm realizing that I want to cry. So I still have to, and I haven't even started yet, get into my cousin's tote. It's right there. Haven't even looked at it. Haven't dug down in it at all. I have no idea what's in there. I know that there is some off-brand, off Lego bricks, but most of it looks like Lego. I also have 2 totes over there of stuff we just cleaned up. And Josh, because he's 15 and wants the Lego out of his room, has been dumping. I got, sad to say, a very broken Grogu down here because he just brought it down here one day and left it on the floor, and I didn't realize, and I kicked it. I kicked Grogu. I'm sorry. So he's kind of in pieces on the floor right now. So it's like, I got this guy that I don't know what to do with, and I don't like. There's 2 class, guys in there. I don't know what to do with this guy. He's just sitting here against the wall. This isn't my first one. My first one is in pieces in here when I bought off the store shelf years ago. I bought all of these supercars off the store shelves from the 8860. I want to say 8860. The black one that came before this, that only had the suspension on the back tires and not the front tires. And it had the gear shift. And then this one came out, and then the black 8880 came out, which I adore. And I got 2 copies of those at least, although none of them are built right now. And then I go to the 8448. And that was the last super car Technic set that I bought, the one I cared about. I didn't get the Unimog. I didn't get hardly anything else. I got the gold 4x4 that came out basically the same time the 8448 came out. And I got 2 of those because they were on stupid cheap at Shop at Home. The specials that they had. So I ordered 2 of them and I got them in the mail. So I could build 2 of those again with the big, huge rubber tires that are just awesome. The same tires that came in the power puller. Why are these space guys in my car? Shocking that they are. So I don't know. I got this. I love Technic. Don't get me wrong. I adore Technic, but I don't need this. I don't need this guy. And then another one falls out. It's like fleas are flying out of this thing. Yeah, my wall of minifigs is right there, and they keep on falling on top of this because he's on the floor. So I don't, for a friend, I don't mind losing these. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. Now, to be said, Jamie, my good friend over at Brick Shack, has told me that if I want to start selling stuff to him, I can absolutely do that. My issue is that, of course, he's going to give me a price for me that gives him enough, room to make some sort of money on it. And so I don't want to sell to a reseller. I want to sell to a fan. And I don't mind Jamie reselling. He gets a lot of used lots. But for me, right now, today, I want to sell to fans that will keep this. And, if they want to resell it 10 years, and as I say, I said this before, if I sell you something and you turn around and sell it right away, no sweat off my nose at all, because it is yours to do what you want with. If I find out, I will probably be a little more wary of selling you something again, because usually I try to get I won't say promise, but the proviso that this is going to a fan and that they want it. But no, people's situations change, and I got a lot of these pieces from people who were fans, and they just stopped liking Lego and they sold it all. So I've gotten lots that way. And so I understand that that's what can happen. But if I'm selling to a fan, oh, Dave, I really wanted that set. I always wanted it when I was a kid. I really wanted it. And I sell it to you for whatever, usually the Bricklink lowest price for a good set. And then I find out the very next day you sold it for the Bricklink highest price, or you put it on eBay and it went for thousands of dollars more. I'm going to be a little miffed. I honestly am, because there was disingenuous communications to me. Like somebody says, Dave, I'm a fan. I want that. And I've said, you're, I know you, and sure, I'll ship it to you, and you give me cash or whatever. And we work out a price. And then you go around this, then you're not a fan of it. You just want to make money. Now, again, 5 years from now, or 5 months from now, even 5 weeks from now, if your situation changes and you say, oh, I'm not a fan anymore, I'm going to get rid of my collection, I sell it, I would have zero problem with that. Again, because I got a lot of stuff from that. But it is the nuance. I'm going to say that. It's the nuance of things. And the older I get now, the more I'm looking at nuance versus, blatantly in your face, and trying to appreciate the nuance of specific situations. I had a very good friend that sent me, and I mentioned this because I still have the pieces here, because I haven't moved them yet. The Amtron pieces, after I finish fixing this up. Dave, I have pieces and you have pieces I want. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And to be said, when I got, for crying out loud, this set, I know the guy. I've been there because he posts on Marketplace, and I went over there and I bought some classics. I wouldn't say classic space sets, but they're Ice Planet and whatever else. And he keeps on posting, and he always sends me hey Dave, I post some more stuff. Perfect. I love that. I told him I might not buy it, but if he's cleaning up sets and he's selling it, let me know, because I might be interested. And I was interested in this one. I always wanted this one. Now I have 2 copies. But he said, oh, Dave, by the way, this is like my 3rd time or 4th time going there. I never knew him before in my life, but now it's my 3rd or 4th time going to get this guy. He says, by the way, do you happen to have these 8 pieces that I need to complete these other sets that I want to sell? He asked me, he's made it very clear he wants to complete sets to sell. And I said, I have those parts. I absolutely have those parts. And I went on Bricklink and I looked up the prices, and I said, these are, some of them are pretty 1x2 grill plates or tiles. But one was this guy right here with the sticker on top. He needed 2 of them because I think it was completing the Arachnoid Starbase, which I adore. The Arachnoid base, I think it's called, not Starbase, the Arachnoid base. I bought 2 copies of that when it first came out. Well, no, I got it from Shopping Home. Deep discount. And then I got, I think, at least one more, and I used a lot a couple years back. I did a review on it. I love, I keep on mentioning this, I love insectoids. I really do. I think it's a fantastic line. But anyway, because it was unique. It was complete, like, people, and too many tangents. People keep on saying, oh, UFO's unique, and Blacktron 2 is unique, and blah, blah, blah. But they're not really. They're not really unique. Like Classic Space to Futuron was a radical change of building style and pieces and whatever. And forget the monorail. I'm not even including the monorail in that. Just a radical way of making space sets and building space sets. And so from Futuron to Blacktron 1, also a pretty big change, but you could recolor Blacktron sets as Futuron and it would fit right in the Futuron. And you can because we've all done it. We've all recolored sets. I recolored a Spyria set in Ice Planet colors, and it looked like it fit right into Ice Planet. And I gave it to Dave. That's all yours, Dave. Because he liked it. And so UFO sets, I mean, this one is looking a little unique with all these pieces, but you can take the one of the UFO sets and recolor it into a different color, into a different set, and it'll fit right in. But insectoids, you can't do that. You can't recolor insectoids nicely and have it just fit right into any other theme at all. Like at all. Like Jeff built this thing in classic space colors. A lot of people did. I've seen people build this thing in all the different colors of all the different themes, except for insectoids, because it doesn't fit with insectoids. The whole look of it does not fit with insectoids. It really doesn't for me. Insectoids was a radically different, not the wouldn't say style of building, because again, when you're building arachnid boys, it's basically the same way as building this thing, bricks on top of bricks, but a lot of plates, whatever. But with the legs, which is unique to insectoids for a while. The other themes grabbed onto it afterwards. But, and the minifigs, again, people say, oh, the UFO has those, hexagon helmets or whatever, the rhombus helmets. Sure, but underneath it's just, not. So it's like, every theme has its pluses, every theme has its minuses. Every theme has its own look to it and feel to it, but when you can take a set and recolor it to another set or another theme, and it would fit right into that theme, like we've done, and then you try it with insectoids, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Especially when you have the 4x4 round, half round golf ball looking things, whatever you call that thing, with the eyes, the bug eyes, the big bug eyes. But anyway, that was my little rant about insectoids. I love insectoids. A lot of people don't, but I always like them. But so anyway, he calls me up and he says he wants parts. He had 8 parts listed, and 6 of them are pretty standard parts. 1x8 rails, the plate with the slide door rails, which are in a lot of sets here. So I think he was reconstituting the arachnid soy star base, because that was part of that, and then the little triangle trans neon green with the sticker on top for the magnet. And so I brought it, and I said like $5 for all those 8 pieces. Like Bricklink was, some of them were like whatever, but the entire thing did not total up to more than $5 for sure. And but my time and effort for getting 8 pieces together. So so that came off the price for this thing. Hello, no problem. So and then when I took the other thing, I haven't even put these away yet, but I met my other friend in Burlington a couple weeks ago when he gave me these pieces, and I gave him 4 of these base plates for the airport. Like, these base plates go for stupid money right now, especially the 9, not the 7s. This is the newer one, but I already have a set of these guys. So it's like, but $20, like, whatever. I'm not here for money. I am not here for money. I am here for money, but not screwing my friends for money. I do not want to ever be thought of as screwing my friends for money, like literally ever. I want to share this hobby with as many people as possible who want to have this hobby shared with them. And that's why my layout is at the Brick Shack. It's not, hey, look at me, look how great I am. No, it's sharing the hobby and the love of the hobby. And a lot of people are posting on Jamie's page, oh, that's fantastic, because they can't make it out the Bricks in the 6. They couldn't make it out the Brickfest. They live in Grimsby. They're not huge fans. They're going to go to a Lego convention, but if they love going to the Lego store, like literally all the time, and now they're seeing it, and maybe they get more enthused. I don't know. I'm already enthused. I don't have to get any more enthused about this hobby than I already am. It is one of those few things that, there's my family. I had, which is my number one enthusiasm, but without it's not even a competition. My family is like numero uno, my friends and family. But when it comes to this hobby, I got a tank on my back last weekend. I went scuba diving for the first time in a while, since basically we lost the phones a couple years back, and I made a little video about that. So, and somebody else lost something, and I went scuba diving for it, and I didn't find it, but I found the string down to it and blah, blah, blah. Don't need to go into the details right now. But I got a tank on my back. Now, I rented the tank because my tanks are right over there behind this wall, and they haven't been looked at in 5 years, which means that if I went to use those tanks, I'd have to get like a hydro. And if you don't know anything about scuba diving, they have to test the tank every 5 years to make sure it's not going to blow up. Tanks don't blow up. Shh, don't tell me. And the hydro is a lot of money, and then they put the air fill in it. So you're looking at $70 to get a tank that needs to be inspected and then hydroed and then filled up, and that's $70. Where you can rent a tank for 20. So I just, hey, there's a dive shop in town. Go rent the tank, put it on my back, go in the water. Perfect. So I'm probably going to do that going forward, unless I have a weekend of like a dive trip where I'm going to be doing lots of diving, and then I'll get my tanks hydroed, because I'll fill up my own tanks, because filling a tank is a lot cheaper than renting a tank. But filling these tanks would require a hydro inspection, and then filling the tank, which is going to be stupid money. But I don't dive nearly as much as I used to. I felt it just trying to get into my suit. I was a little portly, as we want to say, and it was a little more difficult getting into my wetsuit. It shrunk. Bigger. So, but it was fantastic getting a tank on my back. The water between 0 and 8 feet was wonderful. Just gorgeous. Fish and turtles and lily pads and just fantastic stuff. Below 8 feet, oh, that's a thermocline. it gets pretty cold. Ooh, that's pretty cold. And then I get down to 20 feet, and then you see this line. You can physically see a line in the water between 20 feet and 20 feet 1 inch. It's just a line. And I stick my hand through that, and it gets really dark, like tea dark, like your tea. It was really steep tea. And it was ice cold. Now, the lake we were on, up at my friend's cottage, I won't tell you exactly where it is, but the lake we were on is quote unquote a man-made lake, because there's a dam at one end of the lake. Now, it's probably was rivers and streams before, and they dammed up one end, and they made lakes, and there's cottages, and blah, blah, blah. So the water that's going over the dam is just the surface water. The water underneath, like at the 20-foot level, doesn't move. It doesn't move at all. There's no current. The stream comes in from one end, or a couple of streams come into this lake, and the water just stays on the surface and goes to the dam. I don't know the whole water cycle. It's a pretty big lake, huge lake. Some people can water ski on it, but it's not a water skiing lake. It's kind of small. You have to go around some islands, whatever. But you go down 20 feet, and the current, there's zero current. There's no current in the lake that you feel anyway, because it's big enough, and the dam's way like 1.5 miles down, whatever. But there's no current. There's no way of mixing the water. And so that water is ice cold. I wish I had a thermometer, and I did put on my full suit because I knew it was cold. I put on my full suit, hood, to my Farmer John's, my jacket, my boots. I did not put my gloves on, because I really can't stand dive gloves. If I don't have to wear them, I don't wear them. Usually I will leave the hood too, but with the cold, and I'm getting old, and my ears, whatever, I didn't want to play any games with that at all. But I got through the 20 feet because I wanted to see how deep it was. So I found there was a string connected to whatever they lost in the wintertime. They they bored a hole through the ice, which was 18 inches thick in the wintertime. That's how cold this lake is. It's 18 inches thick in the wintertime, and fishing or whatever else they're doing. And they dropped the auger through the hole. After they made the hole, they went straight down. And then they got a rock or something, and they put a string on it, and they put a bottle on it, sealed bottle, and they dropped that through the hole too. But they made sure the bottle was like 4 or 5 feet below the surface of the water, so when the ice melted, people wouldn't go there and pull the bottle out. They wouldn't see it, but you can see it snorkeling. So they would go find this thing, because they kind of got their bearings. Oh, that dock's there, that dock's. I mentioned this in my last video when we lost our cell phones. You always get your bearings when you lose something in the water. You come up and you find some landmarks that you can say between here and here, 45 degrees ish, and then you go down and you do a grid search, whatever. So I, of course, not having been diving for 2 years, a little out of shape, I was hoofing on the regular, well, not like Darth Vader, but in the water, the air streaming past my ears. it took me a little bit to, and because I'm a little more, shall we say again, rotund, I'm a little more buoyant than I used to be, and my weight belt was made from what I used to be. So I was fighting to stay down. Now, at the 20-foot level, I wasn't going up and I wasn't going down. I was perfectly neutral. But before, I had that neutrality about 4 feet below the water. So I just had to get down to 4 feet, and then I was perfectly neutral. Because as you go down, there's more pressure on you. For those of you who knew Boyle's Law, you go down every 33 feet. It's another atmosphere, 33 pounds. You don't have to know that. But at 4 feet before, at the surface, I'd float always floating. And with the BC, I'm definitely floating. But I would just be able to just regulate my up and down just by flicking my fingers, my feet properly, my flippers. But this one, I was fighting to get down, which you're going to use more air. Straight up, you're going to. And I didn't have any additional weights on my weight belt or there at the cottage. I should have picked up a rock and stuffed it in my BC, which I've done in the past. But at the 20 foot, I was perfect. But of course, at the 20 foot, it goes from 20 degrees to 2. It's like cold, ice cold. So by the time I got the little bottle that was floating with this rope going all the way down, I was down to 500 pounds of air. Like I had zero, because it took me a long time to find it. There's 2 or 3 people were saying, "Oh, we were here. Oh, we were over here, and we're over here." And there's like a good 100 yards between wherever people thought they were. So I finally, I won't say genius, it kind of came up with a ad hoc discussion. What I finally did is I said, just pick a spot where all you people who were here in the wintertime think it happened. Just pick a spot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down 20 feet, and I'm going to tie the boat anchor. I'm going to tie a rope to the boat anchor. I have a little string that my die flag's on, a little orange string. And then I'm going to swim out 40 feet from the anchor rope. I'm going to tie it the 20 foot down, 40 feet out, and then it's going to do a circle right around. And sooner or later, the orange rope is going to catch onto the string that you guys got tied to the bottle. See? You make a big circle. You're going to catch this thing. You're going to catch it. And I'm not there by myself. Shh, don't tell anybody. Everybody's in the boat. They're all divers, but I'm the one that had a tank. So anyway, I'm going this 20-foot circle all the way around. And I'm thinking, wow, have I gone around? Because I thought I did the whole thing, right? Have I gone around twice? And all of a sudden, because I'm just holding the string tight, and I'm looking, the string is going this way, right? And I'm looking forward. So the string is not behind me, it's beside me. So I know I'm perpendicular to the boat wherever I am. It's going to one big circle, 80-foot diameter circle. So I thought, because again, with the water being in the Great Lakes, or you swim, you snorkel, you go 20 feet, you get 4 feet visibility, and it's all greenish and whatever, and then below 20 feet is blackish and whatever. So all of a sudden, I make the line is exactly perpendicular to me, going towards the boat anchor rope, and all of a sudden, I'm at the bottom of the boat. What am I doing at the bottom of the boat? Like, how did I get back here? Like, the line's tight. I'm going, oh, it caught the bottle. So I swim over, I follow the orange rope, my little string, and there's the bottle. There's the bottle. And then I look at my gauge, 500 pounds. Son of a pup. I didn't have enough air. I did not have enough air to get down 40 feet, because like that 20 to 40 feet, you might not think is a lot, but it's huge, especially when the water's black and the water's cold. So I wasn't going to risk it. I'm by myself in the water. I mean, the guys in the dive boat are making sure my bubbles are coming up, whatever, and they would have dove in to get me. And if I stop swimming, I'm going to float to the surface anyway, because my suit was so, I'm so lighter now because of my fat. I wasn't worried about it, but 500 pounds. And of course, as you go down, more pressure, you have less air in your tank, which just goes, and I'm not going to force it. So, ran out of air. The guy said he was going to go rent his own tank, because he's also a diver, and he's going to be up there with his buddies next weekend, and they'll go get it. But we know where it is now. So I have no idea if they're going to get it. And an auger's $20, and I spent $20 on a tank. So I don't know if an auger is $20. They kept on saying it was $20. So anyway, I loved it. I loved having a tank in my bag. And also, the scuba tank was only 2,000 PSI, And if you have an 80 cubic tank, they're supposed to fill up to 3,000 psi. What this dive shop says, for safety reasons, we're not filling up these tanks above 2,000. And I'm going, I should have brought my 72 cubic foot tanks that my dad gave me that are older than me, because at least those things have 2,400 psi in them. If I had the 3,000, I would have got the auger. As simple as that. I would have got the auger. But whatever, doesn't matter. I got a tank in my back for half an hour, 45 minutes, and it was lovely. Even though the water was green, and I saw some fish and turtles. Also on the trip, Josh and I did a lot of snorkeling, which is fantastic. He found 6 lures, I found 3. Go, Josh, go. There was a little bit of a boat ramp near the cottage, a public boat ramp, not like busy. It's kind of like there's a gravel thing that's at the end of the road. It's free use. There's nobody. There's no gatekeepers. It's just a picnic area. They got a little picnic table and whatever, and then there's a boat ramp, and a lot of people use it, and they fish off the dock that's sitting beside the boat ramp. And Josh and I went out there with our snorkel gear, and just had a great time, because in 0 to 6, the water is like bathtub warm in August. It was fantastic. And then it's the ground is only 8 feet below. So when you do a little dolphin on, you go down and you're at the rocks and you find a branch with lures on it. It was perfect, and it was always warm. It was wonderful. And Josh has very, very impressive swimming skills already, and he's good at holding his breath already, and he's good at swimming, and he's good at mass clearing already, and he was just having a great time. And I went with him for an hour, but he was out there the day before and the day before that all by himself. I'm watching from the dock, and he's way over there, but one of his buddies is in the kayak. But the kids had a great time. They were swimming around, snorkeling around, having a blast, and I did get to do some snorkeling, and I found 3 lures, only one of which was any good. The other 2 were pretty rusty and crappy, that's what I'm doing with my summer. Not here in this room. I'm out there. And again, I'm going camping again in a week and a half. This time at Rock Point Provincial Park on Lake Erie. And that's going to be fun. Hopefully, we'll have a video. It depends on logistics, shall we say. There is a potential that I might be able to get my hands on one of the original town plans that came out in the 50s and 60s. Just the cardboard fold-out town plan. I've been wanting one of those since I was a kid, and I have a line on one. But if it doesn't happen, I ain't losing sleep over it. I saw on Marketplace the other day, somebody had the complete town plan with all the bricks and all the cars, with extra cars, the HO cars, and extra pieces and whatever. And they wanted $1,000 for it. And I'm going, I was almost tempted to get it just for the nostalgia's sake of having something that old. I mean, it's before this guy. Like, it's before that is when they had the actual cars that looked like Matchbox cars, which I know I owned at one point, but I did not know they were Lego, and I threw them out thinking they're Matchbox. That's a whole other story I mentioned before. At least I never looked, so they could have been Matchbox cars, but there was no, in the entire lot, there was no other Monopoly pieces or whatever connects. There was nothing else in the entire lot except for actual Lego, and this guy was an avid collector. This is the guy out in Selkirk I mentioned before, that I filled up the back of my pickup truck with boxes, cardboard boxes of just 100% Lego, and they all got rolled into the collection after I washed it, because I still did it back then. But it was 100% Lego, and every time I come across a car, oh, that's Lego. I mean, that's Matchbox. Oh, that's whatever. And I don't believe now that it was. But whatever. Anyway, that's it. That's all. I am going to bed. So you guys all stay safe. Take care. And I will... good to be back. I don't know how many... It's going to be infrequent updates. I may do a live tomorrow. I don't know. It's in Jamie's store. I'm going to leave it up to Jamie. He's got some stuff on Instagram at the Brick Shack, Grimsby. He's got my posts of my layout up there. I put some posts up on my TikToks for the layout at Jamie's store. Excuse me. And I do have a bunch of stuff I have to get done before Bricks in the Six, because I have to extend the wires for the lighting, and I want to add some more stuff. So I do have my work cut out for me, but if I don't get it done, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I honestly am not. What I just grabbed the boxes from when we took down the layout from, I'm trying to remember my last show, not Anime North, the one after that, the Comic-Con. Doesn't matter. I did 2 shows in 2 weeks. Niagara Falls Comic-Con, I remember. The boxes went into the garage, and the boxes came out of the garage. They went into the garage at Niagara Falls Comic-Con. After that was over, and they went right back into the car, the other day to go to the shop. So that's working perfectly well. There was some damage. I'll say that. There was, not to drag this video out longer. There was some damage because I had to get it into Jamie's store. I had to really kind of put the long boxes vertical to get them in the door. There wasn't a lot of, and so when I open up those boxes, everything had shifted. Because usually I just dump them on the dolly, the cart, and I pull the cart in, and they just take it down, so everything remains flat at all times. But getting them into Jamie's store, that was tough. So that was a little sad. But in the end, not a huge bunch of breakage, and it took me a little longer to set up because it was a little cramped. But I loved it, and Jamie appreciates it, and I appreciate him. So that's all that matters to me. Friends, very important. Good friends, extremely important. And the older I get, especially in this past week, the more I realize, well, I've always realized that, but I'm really coming to the idea that all the other stuff is just whatever. It's nothing. Nothing's as important as friends and family, like true friends and family. And family doesn't have to be blood. And I mentioned that before. Like my friends are my family, and my family's my family because I'm one of those lucky people that have both. So anyway, I'm not going to get all nostalgic and mopey on this because there are reasons I would. He will be missed. He honestly will be missed. And but I'm not going to talk about it right now. You guys all stay safe, take care, and I will talk to you soon.